Okay, good morning, Pickleball Nation. Rocket coming to you from Mobile, Alabama. And this is a special treat because we are live streaming here for the first time from the Pickleball Rocks team. And here in Mobile, we've got the 2016 Atlantic South Regional. And I'm going to take you a quick tour here because it's a fascinating tournament. It's a wonderful tournament every year, and this year it's run by a lady by the name of Karen Parrish, and hopefully we can run into her here in a little bit and introduce you to her. But I'm just going to take you a quick tour and let you see what a regional tournament looks like, because this is a good one.
Rocket, this is Jack Olmsted, Port Townsend, Washington. Can you give us a little tour of your booth?
Hey, Jack, we can certainly do that. Let me get around here. We're going to flip her over the corner. There we go. You're now looking inside of the Pickleball Rocks booth. Of course, you know, Pro Light is our brand of paddles that we handle. And we've just got all kind of multicolored shirts here. Basically, if you get into this shirt here, we pretty much guarantee that you'll never get hit crossing the street. At least they can't say they didn't see you coming. Back here in the back is a big part of the Pickleball Rocks team. There's Zach and Josh Grubbs. They're here. They're going to be playing on Sunday afternoon in the 5.0 division. And I'll take you just a quick tour then while we're here of the other vendors. This is what we call Vendor Town when you go to a tournament. Vendor Town's always a big important part of any event. You want to make sure you got good pickleball vendors there. Paddle Tech is here, you know, with their full line of paddles. There's Alan, and Alan's from Whippersnapper. And where'd you tell me you're from, Alan?
Vermont.
Vermont. All right. Whippersnapper's only been around about 1,000 years in the paddle business, okay? And Alan now has recently purchased that company and has it rocking and rolling. Back there in the back is Pickleball Up. You know, and they handle a lot of they're around a lot of the southern tournaments. Okay, and then we'll take you up here, up the hill here is Nerve Central. And Nerve Central, of course, is manned by the hardest working lady in pickleball. It is Melissa McCurley, cowgirl Melissa McCurley. We're actually live streaming right now, Melissa. Tell us, yeah, how many players do we have here at this tournament? 183 players registered for the tournament here this weekend. There's Bob Niebarger, the world famous Bob Niebarger, we should say. We see you online all the time, Bob. But anyhow, a little bit about the Mobile Tennis Center, okay? 60 tennis courts here. It is a magnificent facility. They tell me it is the largest outdoor facility in the United States. Okay, and we're just using a small portion of it here this weekend for the Atlantic South Regional. But there's a view of the matches that are already in play. And so, yes, we are going to have just a magnificent weekend. It's going to be 72 to 75 degrees, sunshine every day, just like they ordered it. And there will be big crowds here throughout the weekend watching this as well. Oh, I got you, okay? Say hi to Pickleball Nation.
Hey, Pickleball Nation.
Anyhow, quickly, as we just walk around the courts here a little bit, going to just give you a quick gander at some of the sponsors that have stepped up here to help sponsor this tournament. Pro Light Sports is a big sponsor of this tournament, as is Onyx, and as is Paddle Tech. And then we'll walk around in front here, see what else. And actually, one nice thing about this tournament, and if you run a tournament out there, this is so important, and some tournaments do miss this, make sure you've got some place where the players can warm up. They actually have 4 full-size practice courts out here for the pickleball players this weekend. So you've got a place to go and warm up and play a few games before you actually go on court. That's real important. Hi, Beth. So yeah, we'll go down here on the other end of the fence. We'll show you some more of the sponsors that are here. But the regional tournaments, if you've never been a part of a regional tournament, you know, they're always well run. They're always highly attended. And they're almost always in beautiful locations too. Mobile is just a beautiful location here in the south, right on the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, as we said, Whippersnapper is a sponsor here, as is Pickleball Channel. Pickleball Channel, I wouldn't doubt that they're going to be here later on in the weekend to maybe do some filming. And by the way, you know, if you are a Facebook user and you're not on the Pickleball Facebook page, you're missing out on a lot, that's for sure. Facebook.com/pickleball. And there is actually a list of all of the sponsors. And the sunshine's going to make it really hard to read those. We'll try to get up here in the shade and show you. And actually, I understand here at the tennis center, on the courts right behind us, there's going to be a huge high school tennis tournament tomorrow afternoon. And that's going to be fascinating because we're going to have hundreds of pickleball players here playing right next to a high school tennis tournament. And I think pickleball is going to get some attention tomorrow from the tennis world because they're going to see a major tournament going on. And that is going to be cool exposure for our great sport. Let's see, what else do we have over here? Oh, here's been a popular booth this morning. This young lady from Panera Bread brought in coffee and cinnamon crunch bagels this morning. Say hi to Pickleball Nation.
Hey, Pickleball Nation.
We're very,
Thanks for being here.
hey, and we're very thankful you're here. Thanks. We'll go over here and say hi to the registration desk now that the lines have gone down. Say hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Are you both from here in Mobile?
Foley, Alabama.
Foley, Alabama. Where are you from?
Foley, Alabama.
You're from Foley? Okay. And how'd you get hooked up in this tournament then?
Well, we're volunteers. My husband Bob was one of the members in Foley. Started the Coastal Alabama Pickleball Club.
Mm-hmm.
And as of today, there's almost 415 members.
Oh my gosh. Isn't it funny how pickleball is growing so much right now?
Yeah.
And in places you never heard of. And all of a sudden, 400 players. That's incredible. So how far is Foley from here then?
It's about an hour's drive, maybe 40 minutes from here.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat stuff. Well, thanks for volunteering. I mean, you can't run a tournament like this without a lot of volunteers. So anyhow, we're live streaming right now to the world. So
Hey, world.
anyhow, thanks again, guys. You know, if you go to a USAPA regional, you know, one nice place to visit is always the USAPA desk. I see they don't have anybody here manning it right at this minute. But anyhow, it's a chance to stop by, renew your membership. Actually, at this particular tournament, they have a raffle going on where you have a chance to win a 5-year USAPA membership, which is a pretty cool idea.
Randy Murphy and Brian Acuna. That's Randy Murphy and Brian Acuna. If you are here, you need to check in. Your event is about to get underway.
Rocket, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jack.
Talk about the
We're having
food.
a great time.
What kind of food do they have?
Oh, you know what? For lunch today, and first of all, I'm going to show you this little booth, and then I'll take you over and show you. I don't know if they've got the food out yet or not. You know, but this is a nice feature of all your big tournaments is they always have a monitor where you can actually see what players are on what courts at that minute. And then you can also see matches that are coming up. So if you're a player and you want to know how soon you're going to be on court, you go check that monitor and basically you can see I'm the second matchup or I'm the third matchup. And you know to start getting prepared so you can get out there on court and get started right away. This is actually the bracket board here for today. So all the brackets are posted over here. People can come over and see how their friends are progressing. You know, and that gets changed after every single match. Matter of fact, that young lady's getting ready to post some finished scores right there. Food, I don't think food is out yet, but from what I understand, if you're a registered player in this tournament, they're going to supply lunch for you for free, and it's going to be, let's see, what does it say here? PDQ and Pita Pit, served in front of the clubhouse. So I'm not sure what's being served for lunch today, but I'll tell you what was served last night for dinner. I'll tell you what, last night was incredible because they invited all the players registered for this tournament to go to a place called Battleship Park. And Battleship Park is right here in Mobile, and it is the home of the USS Alabama battleship. And not only do they have the battleship there, they have a huge aircraft hangar with all types of World War II helicopters and jet planes, fighter planes in there. And so you get to tour all of those. And so our team actually had a chance to go on the USS Alabama last night and tour the whole ship on your own. Take as much time as you want. And it was fascinating because in that ship, you know, it was actually commissioned in 1942, which of course, World War II. And my father was a big part of the landing at Normandy in World War II. And so anyhow, I got to make a lot of emotional connections last night as I toured that battleship and saw some of the things that our fighting men had to go through back in World War II and the way they had to live on that battleship and what they had to go through. So anyhow, it was kind of an emotional thing for me and my boys, because of course that was their grandpa that was over at Normandy and somehow managed to survive that and make it through World War II and get home. So anyhow, we got to tour the USS Alabama, and then after that, in the aircraft hangar, then they had a place roped off, and they served us a buffet dinner with jambalaya, my first attempt at jambalaya, and it was really, really good, and banana pudding for dessert, and yeah, just a great time leading up to the tournament last night. So that was just pretty cool. So look what's setting up right here. This is interesting. Starting to see this at more and more tournaments now. A lot of times your massage companies will come in and help sponsor and help give complimentary massages. So look at this, Massage Envy's getting set up and ready to go. Say hi to Pickleball Nation. I'll bet you guys are going to have a very popular spot here in a little bit, undoubtedly. So anyhow, if you understand the pickleball tournament, great time to go out and touch base with your massage people, because they're very willing to come in and sponsor and supply a little bit of help to get the pickleball players through. Another important feature here at every tournament is your hydration stations, okay? No matter where you're holding your tournaments, whether it's in the north or in the south, make sure you keep your players hydrated. That's very, very important, whether it's through water or Gatorade. Hey, say hi to Pickleball Nation there, guys. And from Foley, right? We are from Foley. I'll tell you what, we were just talking with your wife about how the growth in Foley is exploding right now.
We have 405 members after 14 months in the Coastal Alabama Pickleball Club. We've had 2 club tournaments, and we are pushing the city of Foley to build a 32-court outdoor pickleball stadium to host tournaments like the U.S. Open and the National USAPA tournament.
Wow, that is incredible. And your name is?
I'm Bob Webb.
You're Bob? Bob, I'm going to give you my card there, okay? Stop down at the Pickleball Rocks booth after a bit, because I'd like to get some information from you. We travel the country supporting pickleball, and so we'd love to come down and visit you guys sometime.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for stopping in. Is this Camp Indiana over here, Ryan? All right. And what are you doing on crutches there, young lady? Surgery, okay. So how soon are you going to be ready to go again?
I haven't played in 6-8 months. It's killing me.
Here's the one thing I know about Ryan, okay? You could play mixed tomorrow, and you'd be just fine, because Ryan covers 95% of the court anyhow. So All right. Hey, good luck, Ryan. This is Deb. Good morning. You want to say hi to Pickleball Nation? We're live streaming right now.
Good morning.
And where are you from again, Deb? North. Not the Hiawassee.
Not quite, no, a little bit further north than that.
Okay. So what town you play in then?
Brevard.
In Brevard. Okay. So that's pretty close then.
Near Asheville. Yeah.
Okay, near Asheville. Gotcha. All right. Good luck today. Take a look at what's going on here on court number 2. Okay, playing on court number 2. Winnie Montgomery on the far end. And with her back to us right now is Alice Tim. If you've never heard of Alice Tim played Wimbledon back in the I better not say for sure because I'm not sure. But I know Alice is in her 70s here, and she actually played Wimbledon back in her day. Tremendous tennis player. And her and Winnie Montgomery play a lot of the senior tournaments around, and in the 70-plus division, go home with a lot of medals. So anyhow, we'll just take a second here and kind of watch a little bit of this match. Here's one thing that I know about Alice. I've seen her play enough that once she gets up to the net, or if you hit a ball to her, even though she doesn't move the way she probably used to, she has incredible, incredible hands. Lobs, dinks at your feet, just frustrates the dickens out of an opponent. So anyhow, there's old tennis players coming into this. And then, of course, this is an open tournament. So here later on today, you're going to see some of the best young players in the country playing here as well. 25, 30 years old, ex-tennis players, ex-racquetball players. And man alive, they just take the game to a whole new level. So pretty incredible what's going on right now with the sport of pickleball. I mean, everywhere we go, and we do about 30 tournaments a year as we travel around the country, but everywhere we have gone this year so far has been at least a 25 or 30% increase in the numbers of people entering the same tournaments that we attended last year. So this sport is just absolutely on a phenomenal growth rate right now.
Rocket.
Yes.
The lines that they use for pickleball on the tennis courts, are they tape?
Yes, actually they are tape, and they can be different forms of tape. They're all some form of a painter's tape. The tape it looks like they're using here will be a 2-inch, pretty much a standard painter's tape that you can buy at any hardware store, whether it's one of your big box stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. But it's just a standard painter's tape. Because they're leaving it down for just a short period of time, it won't leave any residue on the courts. They'll take it up at the end of 3 days, and they'll never even know that they were there. Now, you have to be a little bit careful if you go putting tape down on courts and you're planning on leaving it down for weeks or months at a time. Then you want to be a little bit careful about what type of tape you may choose to do that. I know there's what they call sensitive painter's tape that we use a lot of times.
This is the men's singles 3-5, 19 through 60 plus, court 4. Your players are Jim Cray and Thomas Gifford. So that's Gifford and Cray, court 4. Your referee is Tony Giroto.
So anyhow, there is what's called a sensitive painter's tape that we'll use on indoor courts a lot.
Pickleball up underneath the big tent. Thank you so much for being our sponsor. Also, it looks like Massage Envy is setting up across from the trainer's desk. We'd like to thank them, Massage Envy. And complimentary massages according to their message board, Massage Envy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anyhow, I won't talk too much about the tape, but yeah, this is going to be a standard painter's tape they're leaving out here for just a few days. Indoors, I do know that there is what's called a sensitive painter's tape. And you can put that tape down literally on indoor basketball floors and leave it down we've left it down for over a year at some of the facilities we've used back in the Midwest, and it gets scuffed up so bad that eventually you have to take it up. And when you take it up, it just comes up clean as a whistle. So you can put new tape down. But anyhow, yeah, these are temporary courts, and they're set up very, very nicely here. Out
Can
here
you
on the
talk?
court right now, we have Carol Hess out here playing right now. She is from Canton, Georgia. She's part of the North Georgia Pickleball Club back there in North Georgia. If you've never been back in Canton, Georgia, they have one of the most beautiful private pickleball facilities in the country, owned by Tom and Ann Early. And they've got 6 courts there in their backyard, and it literally is one of the most beautiful complexes in the world to go play pickleball.
Can you talk about the nets that they're using?
Well, the nets that they have here, these are all portable nets. It doesn't look like they have a standard one that they chose for this particular tournament. It kind of looks like they've taken about anything they could get their hands on because, you know, they have a lot of courts here they had to find portable nets for. The USAPA net is the official net that the USAPA endorses, of course. It's on this particular court, but all these portable nets, the nice thing about them, they're all pretty similar in construction. They're very easy to take apart. They're very easy to put back up again. They all store in a little portable bag, which makes them easy to transport in your car or your vehicle. And literally, you can put a portable net up in 3 to 4 minutes max, and they all pretty much go up the same. So anyhow, nice to have in your trunk if you're out there promoting pickleball, and we generally carry a couple of them with us just about every place we go because we do so many clinics around the country. And so if we get someplace and literally all we have to do is find a driveway or a street, and we can throw up a portable net and have people playing pickleball within minutes.
Can you talk to some of the spectators?
Yeah. Hi, ladies.
It's easier when you only have to play one game, right?
Oh, we'll stop in. We'll stop in here. Have you gals already played? Did you play one? No. What do they call that? They call that the opportunity bracket, from what I understand. Okay. Where are you gals from, by the way? Griffin, Georgia.
Sun City Beach Street.
In Georgia, there's Raul. All right. See, now I know you guys because everybody knows him. All right. Is he, Peter? All right. By 2 o'clock. That's the deadline. So you guys have just played one so far. You played 2?
And then we went into played that one to 15. We won that.
Okay.
So we're in.
So you have some work to do then. All right. Well, hey, good luck to you. All right. All right. See if we can find some more players here. Everybody's out on the court because basically this is the first round of matches for today. They actually didn't start until 9 o'clock here today. Was the starting time here on Friday. So a lot of these are still in their first round. So not too many people just milling around right now. This is a 3-0 match here. Suzanne Roden and Kikai Ruckstuhl on the far side over there. They're actually a 3.0 ladies team, and they travel a lot. Let's see if I can get you a closer view of them. Actually, the shirts that they're wearing right now says Pickleball Rocks Summer Shootout, which means they've been to Brookville, Indiana, right outside of Cincinnati, for our annual shootout tournament, where we bring in 120 players and treat them to 3 days of pickleball in the little tiny town of Brookville, Indiana. And if you've never been to Brookville, Indiana, it's a town of 2,500 people where we get a kick out of telling everybody we have over 1% of our population playing pickleball. And so Brookville, we've had pickleball there for about 7 years now, and we literally get people from all over the country that love to come there, even though we only have 4 courts. It is a great pickleball experience for people because we have all levels of play there, and you just won't find any friendlier people anywhere than Brookville. And yes, we have things rocking there. We actually have 2 tournaments there each year. We invite in about 120 players to play at the 3.0 and the 3.5 and the 4.0 level. And we do that in, I think it's late June this year. And then a little later in the summer, in July, we have what's called the Pickleball Rocks 5.0 shootout. And the 5.0 shootout is an invitation-only tournament where we invite 16 of the top male players in the country to come to Brookville, spend 2 days there, play 15 matches over 2 days, and it fills up very, very quickly every single year. And so this year in particular, it is already sold out, weeks in advance. And so the 5.0 shootout this year is going to have Wes Gabrielson from Oregon. I know Tony Tolinar from Oregon is coming in for that. Andy Gensch is coming in from Kansas City, Kansas. Jim Hackenberg from up in Kalamazoo, Michigan is going to be there for the 5.0 shootout. I know Dallas Stinnett from over in Terre Haute, Indiana is going to be down for that. Rich Geenan from Columbia City, Missouri, he's coming on. He's going to fly in for that. So anyhow, we're going to have some high-level play. It's 2 days where literally people from our region will come in just to watch some of the best players in the country in tiny Brookville. So, Jack, it is just as you said when we talked about doing live streaming. My phone is now giving me low battery warnings. So we may have to cut this off here pretty soon.
Okay. Rocket, can you tell us about your pickleball story? When did you start, and what level play are you playing at right now?
Okay, well, let me turn the camera around here. So anyhow, pickleball for me is basically a 7-year journey so far. I've been playing for 7 years. 7 years ago, I live in that little tiny town of Brookville, Indiana, out there in the middle of nowhere, northwest of Cincinnati. And 7 years ago, 2 couples from Brookville wintered down in the villages, and they found pickleball, and they fell in love with it. They brought it back to Brookville and actually took it upon themselves to raise some money and donate some money and get some volunteers, and they built 2 beautiful outdoor courts. I just happened to be the local high school, or one of the local high school tennis coaches at the time. And so when they got those 2 courts built, they came to me and said, "Rodney, you have to try this." And so I did. I went over and tried it one day, and then literally as soon as they put a paddle in my hand, I fell in love with it instantly. I was at the point in my tennis career where I was playing at reached the 4.5 level in tennis. And at my age, I really wasn't going to go any higher at that point in time. And when I saw the size of a pickleball court and felt that paddle in my hand, I knew that I had found my replacement for tennis. And so literally, I took off with pickleball right away, started playing at a pretty high level right out of the box, okay, and went out and entered tournaments at the 4.5 or 5.0 level right away just to see where I fit in the pickleball scheme of things. And interesting, as I started playing, I'd literally only been playing for a couple months. I had introduced my one of my childhood friends who was also a local high school coach. His name was Jeff Siebert. I'd introduced him to the sport. We'd been playing for a couple months, and we went and entered our first tournament. Our first tournament was in Terre Haute, Indiana. And being tennis players, we knew one way, okay, the tennis way. You bang your way and you get to the net and you win. And so we went to Terre Haute, Indiana, and we played in our first tournament, and we banged our way all the way to the finals of our very first tournament. And we thought we were something. Okay, well, we get to the finals of that tournament, and 2 guys, probably, I'm going to say 6, 7, maybe 8 years older than us, came out on the courts and just absolutely destroyed us. The names of those guys are Al Hager and Lynn Carlson. And still today, they are some of our best friends in the pickleball world, but they just killed us with a form of pickleball that we had not been told about. Okay, they came out and they started dinking and hitting the ball soft and hitting it at our feet and hitting it at our ankles, and they frustrated the dickens out of us, and they just beat us into the ground at that first tournament. And so we went home kind of wondering, how in the world did that just happen? That couldn't really happen, okay? So a couple of weeks later, we enter our second pickleball tournament. It happens to be the Indiana Senior Games in Indianapolis, Indiana. We bang our way all the way to the finals again, and what happens? We run into Al Hager and Lynn Carlson in the finals, and they destroyed us again. But the interesting thing about that was, after that match, I still remember Lynn Carlson putting his arm around my shoulders and saying, boys, you guys could be pretty good at this if you just change it. You just add a few things to your repertoire. And so anyhow, they showed us how to play a short game and how to play a very strategic game. And we went home and started practicing that right away. And, you know, I won't say the rest is history, but we've done quite well over the years, just had a blast with this sport. I actually finally now, 7 years later, coming up on June 6th, will be getting pushed up, moved up, promoted up, whatever you want to call it, but I'm moving up to the 5.0 level. So anyhow, all these years, and I'm finally going to be a 5.0. So I'm excited about that. It'll be fun to go out there and play against the best players in the country now. So anyhow, that is my pickleball story. It's probably similar to a lot of people out there. Somebody puts a paddle in your hand and off you go. All right, you fall in love with it instantly, and that's what we find. That's the best way to introduce anybody to pickleball. Don't tell them about it. Make sure you put a paddle in their hand and get them going. If you do that, you've got them hooked almost every time. So anyhow, I think I'm going to sign off for today. Hey, Jack, I really appreciate you hosting us today. It was a blast. Look forward to doing it again down the road. And Pickleball Nation, I hope you're out there playing pickleball wherever you are, because as everybody already knows, pickleball rocks. Have a great weekend, everybody.